Hello and welcome to our show, Film Talk with AJ Dean. I'm AJ Dean, your host, and tonight we have a super spectacular superstar, a burlesque star, a bar owner, an actor, producer, director. He does it all. We have the very famous and wonderful Ronnie Lloyd Nanos. Hey, Ronnie, how are you? So glad you're here.
Oh, thank you for having me, AJ. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful, and I was looking forward to your interview all week.
Oh, me
Um,
too.
and I even did a little pre-promo, which I'll post before this. A
Yay.
little, yeah, a pre video before, before because I was just so excited to meet you. And
Oh,
I've heard such great things about you, Ronnie. And I know you've got a lot of fans and a lot of wonderful people who
oh,
want to hear your story. So first off, I want to say thank you to Georgette, Dante, and Ms. Charlamay from Burley Cares, a wonderful organization. If you want to donate to any great organization, Burley Cares is the one. Miss Charlamagne is in charge of that, along with Miranda Smith. And we want to thank you, Miss Charlamagne, Stephanie Castellone. She's a wonderful contortionist performer. She's an angel, lovely, lovely girl. And we're going to send our prayers and thoughts to her, right, Ronnie?
yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Yes, let's definitely send her your best thoughts and prayers or whatever you believe in to make sure that we're sending all those good things to her. She's quite the wonderful person. And you're right, she is an angel here on earth with the things that she does.
She does. I interviewed her and she is amazing and such a lovely and beautiful heart. So we want to keep those special, beautiful hearts in our thoughts and minds and because we care. And again, Burley Cares is a wonderful organization. Please support that. Especially with Christmas coming up, you can make a donation for Christmas for somebody's
Absolutely.
present. What do you think of that, Ronnie?
Oh, absolutely. There's so many great, oh my goodness, so many great things. There's things that Burley Cares does actually at Christmas time. I think there's often people can they'll pair you up with one of the living legends as your secret Santa. I know I've had that happen in the past before. Last year, the legend that I received was Judith Stein out of Canada. So they're always active. So I remember when Burley Cares first started coming together, and Miss Charlamagne put together different events, and I was new in the burlesque community at that time, and before she would do these fundraisers for airfare for legends and whatnot. And it was just an honor to be asked to be part of those shows, and because I was new, and so yeah, I remember that. I remember all the people that were there when I first started doing things in Las Vegas, and you never forget. You never forget it. So absolutely.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. Talking of burlesque, let's dive deep into burlesque. How did you get started in burlesque? I know you mentioned, was it through Ms. Charlemagne? Or
Actually, it was not. I met her after I had gotten into the community. Originally how I got involved in the burlesque community, it's a funny story. I am a very reluctant performer artist and whatnot. I like to be on the production side. I'm usually the director, producer. I like to be the guy in charge behind the scenes. And in my bar in Amarillo, Texas, I wanted to have a little back venue we call the back room. It's a little black box theater, and there were some local burlesque performers, and I created this show that had you know, basically cabaret was theater and music, and I wanted burlesque. And when this is back in 2014, and I had asked some local performers here that had been performing burlesque, and I didn't know a lot about it. But I told them as I wanted this to be my first show in there, and it was 8 performances, all sold out. But I told them if they did a good job for me, that I go to Las Vegas often. I just used to just go to Vegas, the touristy things you go in. There was a Las Vegas Burlesque Festival, and I told them if they did a good job for me, I would take the burlesque performers to the Las Vegas Burlesque Festival, and I would learn about the art form of burlesque out there and take them to that festival so we could go to class. And during that time when I was still going to Vegas before that festival, I started taking class at the Las Vegas Burlesque School, which was ran by Cha Cha Velour. And I was taking class, and it's crazy how things kind of fell in place. At that time, I had just been hired in Vegas to re-choreograph the show Evil Dead the Musical at Planet Hollywood. It had been running for a few years and they wanted new choreography. So while I was going to class, the teachers and the people there, they asked me, well, are you a performer? And I think they saw I had a performance background. I was going to class, and so I kind of was pulled into it. And the rest, as they say, is history. It's funny because some of those teachers and all of those teachers, I always acknowledge all of them. And Lily Starr, Buttercup, Burlesque, all of them, because Lily Starr is actually my co-producer for the shows I produce in Las Vegas now. Again, as we were talking earlier, and I said earlier, you always remember the first people who did for you out there. And there's the Las Vegas School of Burlesque, and as I was getting known through that in the community, and I did the final show for that school, the graduating class, the final class, and Lulu Roxy was there too. And I think Charlamay had heard from me from different people, and she was casting a show randomly that she was producing at the time called Carnival. And I think she'd either seen me perform or whatnot. And again, I was very lucky to meet so many people that were so kind to me when nobody knew who I was in any way, shape, or form. And I had made the decision that year I was going to get back into entertainment. I had retired. Again, I'm a very reluctant performer. I thought I had my time. In my 20s, I was a ballet dancer in New York City and all that. I was, so I have a ballet background. And then I just wanted to have little shows in my venue in Texas, and I thought that would be it, just to satisfy that urge. But my
It's really
father,
taken off, right,
yeah,
Ronnie?
it did. Again, it was, yeah, that year my father passed away, so it was one of those things. I was like, you know what? My business was paid off and the house was paid off, and I just decided, I was at that time already well into my 40s, and
I'm so
decided,
proud of you.
give it a shot. And so it just worked out.
I'm so proud of you. I am so, so proud of you, because it takes a lot of confidence to be a burlesque performer. And, we have a picture of your bar here, RR Bar is that in Texas? It's a
That's
beautiful
in
picture.
Amarillo, Texas. Yes, ma'am.
Amarillo, Texas. And I love your accent. And, in the South, you're so polite and you're so humble and modest.
Oh,
And you're absolutely charming. So I know a lot of people are going to fall in love with you, Ronnie. And we're going to talk about acting a little bit and casting directors a little bit later. But,
absolutely.
and you mentioned, you also weightlift and other things as well. I'll name those off in a minute. But
Mhm.
this bar, how did you get to own it? Did you just save up your money and buy it one day? How
It
did
was
it come
those
about?
things to both myself and my partner. Again, he had owned bars previously as well, and I might have worked in many for many years. And it's just one of those things when I had retired from entertainment back then. I hate to say retired because I guess I didn't retire. But at that time, I thought I had. It was just something, a business I knew. I'd worked in, whenever I was working as a young artist in New York and San Francisco, those times I did all of that. That it's where I could find work that would supplement my income and make quick money very fast. So I knew the business well already, and my partner had owned bars previously for about 20 years as well. So
Great.
it just was the right fit. I was very
Yeah.
lucky.
So where is it? How can people enjoy it? What kind of you said you have events there? Is it
We do. We
okay,
do.
great. And
We
tell
do.
tell us, would you like to talk a little bit about it so people can come if they are in Amarillo, Texas?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are called the RR Bar Amarillo. It's in Amarillo, Texas. We're just that basic kind of cool dive bar. That we're nothing fancy. We're that classic dive bar that you could tell is locally run. And
I love it. I
yeah,
love the pictures. There's a
oh, thank
picture here.
you.
It's so much fun. It looks great. Fun ambiance and a great atmosphere.
And great clientele. We've been open now for 19 years.
Wow.
And yeah, I very often get asked from other people that want to open a bar, what any advice. And the best advice I can give, I wanted somewhere that I would go to if I didn't own it. And that
Yes.
was it. You attract the people you want to attract around you.
I love it. I love that answer. Great answer. Well, best wishes to you and your partner for this fabulous bar that you own. And anything else you want to say about it? And give the address or just its
Oh
impact?
yeah, absolutely. R&R Bars at 701 South Georgia in Amarillo, Texas. We host shows from burlesque, from live music to bands as well. I do like to highlight local artists. Actually, tomorrow or Thursday night, September 28th, it's our Femme Party, which I highlight female artists, different female local artists every month. Last year was a photographer and whatnot that, and we did the femme, in the world of Barbie. This one is actually femme red carpet and women in film, featuring a local filmmaker here in Amarillo showing their stuff, and a small red carpet there for people to take pictures. So it
Wow.
changes monthly.
Fabulous, wonderful. I just love that you're featuring women, femme fatales, and
Yes,
of course, I would be there
absolutely.
if, in a minute if I could just like blink my eye and transport there, Ronnie.
We could do a live feed and have a live, you know,
I mean, you
interview
can,
with AJ Dean at R&R Bar.
wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be awesome.
That would be so much fun. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Um, that's great. Also, so on the screen here, I've got a picture of you, and you're in this great suit, this black and white tuxedo suit. You look so handsome. And then
Oh,
next to it, let me put my glasses on because I want to read this correctly. You won an award recently for the Golden Legend Champion Challenge. I'm so
yes,
proud
ma'am.
of you and
Oh,
congratulations, Ronnie.
thank you so
Tell us,
much. It was,
tell us about it.
thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Well, Golden Legends Championship Challenge is actually it's a burlesque festival that was started by burlesque legend Gabriella Mays. Um, I believe this is the eighth or ninth year, and she actually sold the festival last year to new owners, Bones and Gabby, in Las Vegas. But I had been involved back in the past. Gabriella Mays had asked me to mentor it. So what it does is it pairs um, newer and up and coming burlesque performers, and even some well-established ones. But sometimes you get to train with a burlesque legend or a burlesque mentor that was like a guest artist or guest mentor that. So in the past, I'd actually been a mentor and I had coached proteges myself. And this year I decided I wanted to go in as a protege and work with somebody and have a different set of eyes on me as a performer. It was a big leap of faith, and train myself. And I got to work with the lovely Lily von Schtupp out of Los Angeles, California. And
Wow.
I won. I won the grand champion title this year. So I was not, it was very unexpected. I'm still reeling from everything, many wonderful things. They create kind of scholarship program too. They raise money. Some of that money goes back to some of the performers so they can apply for different burlesque festivals. I got that prize package. I donated my money back and I matched the amount that was given to me so that other performers could apply to other festivals this coming year.
Oh, bless your heart. You're such a generous guy. You're going to get that back. No wonder you're so blessed, Ronnie, in this life, because you have this giving heart. And I want to acknowledge you and say, and I'm sure your partner is the same way. Generous hearts and giving hearts like that, they do so well in this life because you really do get back what you give out.
No,
What do you
it,
think?
it, it takes again, it's such a cliche to say it takes a village, but it does. All of us,
Yeah.
when any of our successes that we ever, it's never done just by ourselves. There are
Yeah.
so many people that help us get to that point. Again,
Yes.
my thing was, in Vegas, and the things I've done out there have often been just to acknowledge and pay back the people who did for me. And because it does come back, it really, again, I like to take care of the people who took care of me, that took a chance on me, that didn't have to. So I had lots of people who helped me back in the days, and many times when I didn't deserve it, I was, a little young Spitfire, did all the young things that you do, and the bad attitude that you have when you're young, and learned some hard lessons, and had been fired from things. You learn those things. I was young, and
Yeah.
but there are so many people that took so many chances on me through my life. So
Mm.
I feel it's not obligated, but more of a, you remember what was done. Nothing is just given to us. Nothing just, yeah, it just happens. It takes a lot of help from a lot of people to get there. I believe that at least.
Yes, I believe that too, 100%, Ronnie. And we just love your grateful heart. So thank you for being so thankful and appreciative of life and people. And speaking of that, you have done. I'm going to switch the second screen again to
Woo.
another picture.
Yay.
It's called "Don't Be Here After Dark." Now,
Right. Well, that film right now is still in pre-production. That's going to be directed and produced by Nancy Hawthorne out of Las Vegas, Nevada. So we have not gone into production yet for that one. She's still seeking funding and whatnot. It's crazy how I even got on board with that particular production. They were having a Zoom reading of people auditioning for parts, and I wasn't auditioning. I was introduced to her by a friend of mine named Ben Stober, who's one of my best friends. It was one of my roommates when I was keeping an apartment in Vegas, and I was doing the reading of the in theater you call it your stage directions, and in film it's the narration, letting people know, and lights fade up here and cut to this, and two actors are walking. I was reading that aspect, and she liked the way I sounded, and she offered me an audition to audition for one of the roles. And
wow.
I wanted to make sure I auditioned. I was like, so I auditioned, and I've been cast in one of the roles. I hope we go into production sometime within the next year. That would be great.
It's super exciting to hear this. What fun. I hope it's okay that I showed the poster because it's so cool.
Absolutely.
And if anyone
Absolutely.
wants to donate or support the film, how do they get in contact with either you or
Or
Nancy?
no, actually Nancy Hawthorne. Nancy Hawthorne, and I just have most of her information. Just find her basically on Facebook, your book of face, and that would be the way.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, all of those, if you want to participate and be a producer or support in any way
Hmm.
for Don't Be Here After Dark, sounds
Dark.
so spooky and wonderful.
Hmm.
Check that out. I know there's a lot of people that love to be, a part of wonderful films. So we want to encourage that and support that. Now, I've got to include these Wonderful
Oh,
Life
wonderful.
and Death Club. Now, this is where you met. Is this also where you met Miss Charlamay? There was some
Actually,
participation there?
I already knew Miss Charlemagne. Death Club on there is the second film I directed, and
Wow.
we completed it, and it's actually about to be released. It was picked up for distribution. It will be released next month,
Oh,
actually, in October of 2023. Um, I utilize a lot of the burlesque community in the opening scenes for that, and Charlemagne is in the film actually. And so I already have known her for many years. It's the second film I've gotten to direct through Patel Films, with the producers out there are Neelish and Shaitali Patel, and they gave me the first opportunity to direct films. Death Club being my first. I mean, my second. My first was Ring of Desire, which was picked up for distribution as well.
wow.
That's already available on Amazon Prime and Tubi and all of those apps and things, and as well. But it's also, if you find Ring of Desire, there's a YouTube channel called Watch Cool Movies, and Ring of Desire currently has 1.7 viewers have watched it on that link. And
Wow.
so yeah, I never thought I'd be one of those people that had a film or something he'd worked on that would be watched by over 1 million people. So it's really exciting. It's otherworldly at times, but
Yeah.
that was Death Club. And the other film on there we see right now is A Wonderful Life, is a film I worked on this year on the production crew. I did the roles of kind of like a second assistant director and script supervisor for that film. That was shot in Utah, in St. George, Utah, not too
Wow.
far from Las Vegas. And it's kind of an LGBT rom-com kind of film.
Love
And
it.
that right now is in post-production. They're finishing their editing, and sometime in November, December, we'll know when it will have a red carpet premiere, one of them being in Las Vegas.
Oh
So
my gosh.
everybody stay tuned for people, though. We'd love to people to come see that film. What's great about that film is A Wonderful Life was created and shot for less than $15,000. It shows people in Vegas area that films don't have to be ridiculously expensive to work and be successful.
Yes.
My friends out there, Ben Stober and Jeremy Settles of Got Films, they ran a program out there 2 or 3 years ago called the 777 Challenge, where they utilized local Las Vegas filmmakers, and they had to produce and direct and create a film in 7 months, and they had to do the shoot within 7 days for less than $10,000. And three of those films made it all the way through, and one of them has been picked up for distribution, and they're shopping for two more. And those films are out of Las Vegas. They were all created for a minimal budget, and they're really wonderful films. One being Drone Down by Mike Conway, directed by Mike Conway. It's a Bigfoot movie. Another one
Wow.
called Rogue Angel by a female director, and it was her first film. Her name is Brenda Daly.
Yes, I was going to mention that. Hi, Brenda.
Rogue
We
Angel.
love Brenda,
Wow,
don't
I
we?
love Brenda.
Hi,
It's
Brenda.
funny. Brenda's such a wonderful, wonderful soul. I'm actually working with Brenda right now. I do a voiceover role in her kind of situation comedy called Mom Squad.
Yes.
I'm the talking watch in that. So we're about to start finishing all of the stuff. So yeah, Brenda's a wonderful,
Oh,
wonderful
she's
person.
great.
And the other film was called A House in Time, directed by Dale Nevin, and was picked up for distribution. And
Yeah.
it won the grand title at the 777. It's a lovely film, and it was Dale's second film, his first being Unwritten. All of those are Vegas artists and directors that really are going to go far, that have vision and create wonderful content.
Amazing. Congratulations. You're a busy guy and doing so many projects. I'm just so proud of you. And I love, just going to go back to A Wonderful Life. I love this poster. There was a lot of thought put into this poster, and there's a cute,
Absolutely.
I mean, I just love it. And I also love the theme and everything about it. And that it was shot
It's a feel-good movie too. It's one of
yeah,
those, again, I think we need more of those sometimes. I
we
think,
really do.
yeah, that make people leave it feeling, oh shucks, again, I'm not a young man. I like those. I love those movies. You can tell it's an offset of the film. It's a Wonderful Life, and that theme has a little to do with some of the themes in this movie, hence the title. So
Love it.
people have to watch to find out why.
Yes, yes, and I'm so proud of you for doing that. And then also Death Club. Can you tell me what it's about though? It's did they all go to? I'm just going to guess here. Okay, is this the log line? A group of wonderfully talented burlesque stars go to a nightclub, and it's more than they ever expected. Something like that.
No, not quite, but it's actually Death Club. I often compare it to being a Christmas Carol for club goers. Five 20 somethings, early 30 somethings break into this abandoned nightclub that had a history, and little do
Wow.
they realize there's a haunting. They're invited by a friend of theirs there, and they encounter all these supernatural elements there, and another super element, natural twist, at the end, making us wonder if all of this was reality or if they were alive themselves. Because the club was supposed to have burnt down, but then they
Um,
walk in, it's pristine and perfect. So all the flashbacks with the burlesque performers were all the people that were in the club the night that it supposedly burnt down. So having such a grand view and personalities like the burlesque community out there really gave it its own personality.
oh
you know
yeah. Oh yeah, I
uh,
can't wait to see both of these. They look so good, the films. I love film and cinema. I also love film analysis, and I love great stories. And you've really put a lot of good effort and stories and themes in these genre movies. They're really, really great. So I'm super excited again. Congratulations,
Thank
Ronnie.
you, AJ.
You're really doing fabulous stuff. I did want to switch the screen again to this one. This is the Salesman
The
and
Salesman
um,
and Lucille.
and Lucille.
Again,
Can you tell us about
but
them? Thanks.
both of these were shorts created just this year, and
Wow. Yeah.
as I said, I'm usually a very reluctant artist and performer, and again, I usually am in production, but this last year, even with the burlesque community, I decided to throw myself out there and
Good.
take bite the bullet in the salesman. I play the lead in that one, and that was
Wow.
filmed here in Texas. And
Wow.
Lucille was created out there by a local filmmaker who was actually my editor of the editor of Death Club and helped create original music for Death Club too, named Kane Blust and written by his wife Candace Blust. And yeah, I was hired to do a supporting role on that. Both of them very smooth sets, well run. If people know I'm a stickler for timely sets and being well run. That's the business side of me going,
Oh,
let's do this. Very well prepared, and they were challenging because again, I get so nervous as a performer. I so and self-judgy like everybody else. Even at this age, I get nervous when I'm the one performing, and they really, you know, gave me that opportunity to work with people that had that faith that I could do these roles. Again, it's not something that I usually do. It's so I was very lucky and blessed to get to do these. I'm excited to see how they turn out. I've seen a trailer for Lucille. I haven't seen any footage yet for the Salesman yet, but yeah, that was quite a challenging role, and I had read the script through a local filmmaker here in Texas, and I was very interested in it. It's one of those I don't like to be a performer, but every now and then, if I find a role that I connected to, that one I did, I really wanted to play that role. So,
this is great. It's wonderful when you get those scripts that really resonate with you. And, you know, because film is such an important communication tool. And I appreciate it so much. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. That's why I so adore all the behind the scenes crew, because the production crew, I mean, we love the actors. I want to say that we always love all the
absolutely.
actors, but right, and the actresses. But Ronnie, take it away. Yeah.
Well, again, how I would say it, any well-run film or anything, it's the crew all the way from your talent, which is your director of photography, all of their crew, your sound person, your makeup, but all the way down to the production assistants, the people who are there making sure the craft services are done. That is a service in itself that is and a job that is important. I've been on films where that wasn't as tightly run, and you can tell the difference. Again, these people work very hard in every one of those positions, and those positions they exist for a reason. And I recently did a film where I was a production assistant. Again, I don't get stuck being the director. I like working for other people. I think it helps us learn when we do those jobs. I think it makes us better leaders when we know what the people that are contributing and doing all those parts are going through and doing as well. I hope to always keep growing every time I do something. And I do it as a bar owner. I'm the one there, and my partner are the ones there that we're the ones that are cleaning it and scrubbing the toilets because that's what you do.
Yeah.
It's what you do, and those jobs are important. All of them
Yeah.
are important. It takes a team.
Yes, it does. And Ronnie, we need you. We need great people like you on the planet and your partner, because you're great examples. You're leaders and you're great examples for others to look up to.
Mm.
And I know a lot of people get inspired by people who are wearing multiple hats like you. Um,
Well,
and
I
so,
also tell people it's smart to do that too. If you
yeah,
want to work in film and whatnot, there's jobs out there. And though it may not be the job that you wanted when you go in and or what your dream job at part of it, you learn every time. There's stepping stones. Everything is an opportunity. It's what you do with that opportunity that takes you to those other opportunities that you strive for.
right.
If you're constantly waiting for someone to, you're going to be the director, you're not going to get there. I just think we learn if working in film, everybody can work in film if they really put their heart and soul into it. It's just
Yes.
yeah. I mean, I was not a filmmaker when I went to Vegas and started working.
You
It
are
fell into
now.
my lap. I randomly. It was so, and again, that's a
Well,
crazy story too. It was never something I had
yeah,
planned on doing.
it's
I was a
meant to
live
be.
performer. It just
It, it's
happened.
it's your destiny and it's meant to be, Ronnie. So it's a wonderful thing. Um, it's in your DNA. That's what I usually say when I meet an exceptional producer, director, and actor. I do want to let you know that I want everyone to know that Lily von Schtupp, is she your Can we say hello to her? Is she your mentor? Is she a friend? Tell us
She's
about
a
her.
friend. She was who mentored me this last year for the Golden Legends Championship Challenge.
Hi, Lily.
And fantastic, fantastic person. And we got to give him a list of the mentors we wanted to work with, and she was on the top of my list. And just for her knowledge, she has experience in the business. She has very keen business sense. Again, that right there, I knew that was going to be the right fit.
Yeah.
And like, you trust somebody, and yeah, I wouldn't have won the title I won it without her. So
Oh, well, we love that. There you are giving credit. We want to say, have a special thank you and shout out to Lily von
Lily von
Schtupp.
Schtupp.
And I have heard such incredible things about her from Georgette. Just wonderful, wonderful
She's
things.
the real deal.
She's the real
Absolutely.
deal. And I love that. And also, I do want to say, any casting, are you open to any roles, future roles, acting? Um,
All the time, all the time. We're always up for future roles or different projects and whatnot. I know right now there's a project that's up in the air that we are putting together. We're in the pre-production with a newer producer out in Las Vegas, and two of my friends, Joanne Heckman and Paul Gunn, both out of LA and Vegas, connected me with this producer, and they really wanted my advice in helping them find different people. And so right now we're in that pre-production thing. I think she wants me to come in as a director. And I think she wanted me to come in after she'd spoken with me because again, I'm very organized. I was giving her realistic expectations as to the time frame in your pre-production because it's a large film. It's an action film, and I can't give the title away yet. But
okay.
we're
I
in
love
pre-production.
Joanna, by the way. I love Joanna. She's
Yeah, I did too.
incredible. I
She's a
met,
wonderful character. She's in Death Club as well, by the way.
yes, and also she was the costume designer, I believe, wardrobe for Move Me No Mountain.
Yes, she
So
was.
she's
I
so
met her. We,
talented.
yes, she is. She also we worked together on another film called Space Wars: The Battle for Deep Star, directed by Gado Satian out there,
Oh my gosh, really? Isn't
and
that
we worked
great?
together on that one as well. So, and she's always supportive, no matter what I do out there. And again, just a friend. She's someone I do consider a good friend, and she's actually in Lucille as well.
Oh, she is?
She is. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
that's phenomenal. And you know what? She's very beautiful. I think
Yes,
she,
she is.
isn't she?
Yes,
And
she is.
she's just
Absolutely.
a absolute doll. And I mean that in the best,
I
most
do
beautiful
too.
way. Yeah, yeah, love her.
Yeah.
So,
And supportive. She's so supportive. She's one of those people that get very genuine. Again, uh, yeah, I think often people like myself or Joanna, we're kind of the oddballs sometimes. But I think we're okay with that.
I consider myself an oddball
Me
too.
too. I love it.
So, can I join the club?
Absolutely. I'm
Okay,
like,
thank you.
us oddballs need to stick together.
Yes we do, and
Yes,
we're gonna
ma'am.
stick together. I love that. For all the casting directors out there, I just want to give who are watching this, and I know some do. Ronnie does these athletics: aerobics, baseball, football, rollerblading, volleyball, weightlifting, yoga, and he does a multitude of accents: Cockney, Mexican, New England, New York, Bronx, and Brooklyn, Southern Spanish, and Texan. And you also speak Spanish. That is wonderful, Ronnie.
Yo hablaba español, claro, claro. I grew up on the border in El Paso, Texas. My mom is Mexican and my dad is Greek.
Oh, I
So,
love that.
growing up on the border, you have to speak Spanish. My grandparents and even my mom wasn't an American citizen. They came over here, and so
Wow.
I'm the first generation American citizen. I was the first generation to go to college. So on the work of my family and people that came here.
I love that. I love that. I'm also, my parents immigrated to America as well. So I share that with you. And I am so thankful and grateful for the United States. I really am. I love it.
Absolutely.
Right. I've grown up here and I'm so thankful and grateful to be here along with you and everybody else. Now for dance, you also, I wanted to say dance, ballet, flamenco, jazz, modern, tango, waltz. I mean, you do it all, and you've been a
Oh,
dancing host
yes.
and all of that.
Primarily, my training is ballet. I was
Wow.
most of my professional career, it started when I was 19, being hired to do an outdoor show called Texas,
What?
and it's a huge outdoor drama. But I was trained in that show by a wonderful man named Neil Hess. And people that train under Neil Hess's program, usually the males especially, we usually became professional dancers within just a few years because the training was so intense. I
Oh,
moved
wow.
from Texas directly to New York City because of his training, and
Wow.
and so the flamenco and all the other dance art forms. I honestly believe if you have a ballet base, many of the other dance art forms are really they become second nature if you have classical training. And I believe that even for musicians, if you have classical training, or for actors as well, if you train classically, it makes a huge difference in what you
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
So
And we
I
can
still
see
take
this.
ballet class, so I'm
Do you?
excited that when I get to it's a privilege. It
Yeah.
is, and it didn't always feel like a privilege when I was younger. It was a
Uh,
lot of work, but now it's that home. I keep a ballet bar at home too, just and for those reasons, it's when I need a center. When not, the bar is always home. The ballet bar is always home.
How beautiful. And I've heard that being a dancer, it does help keep the body in shape as we, age and get older. So that's fabulous that you're doing
Well, and
that,
it
Ronnie.
keeps you disciplined. It keeps your mind disciplined. It really, and that discipline that the dance world brings, I think, really, I wasn't naturally disciplined when I was younger, not at all. And I don't think without having the discipline of dance and my degrees in dance now as well, that I
Wow.
wouldn't be doing the things I do now because it's such a strict discipline that it either you put the work in or you're not going to go anywhere with it, and it makes that difference. So I've used that mentality in so many ways. It really has bled into the rest of my life. I don't think I would have things or get to do the things I have done now had I not had that training.
Yes, I agree 100%. And that's wonderful. And I agree with what you said a moment ago about wearing multiple hats, doing different things, because that gets you more opportunity to work with other artists, and more opportunities arise from that. So I love that. And then I also wanted to circle back to your mom and your dad. They must be so proud of you. Did you want to say hi? Will they be
I'll say
watching?
hi. My mom's in El Paso, Texas.
Yeah.
My father passed away, unfortunately, back in
Oh,
2014.
I'm
And
sorry. So
yeah,
sorry.
it's always those things. I always wonder, I mean, they knew a lot about my performance career and stuff back then. It wasn't really their thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not who they were. My father and all of my family on my father's side, they're all in law enforcement. So my father was a DEA on the border in El Paso.
Wow.
My uncle right now is the current sheriff in Tucson, Arizona. And another one of my uncles is the captain with the Texas Alcoholic and Beverage Commission.
Um,
That was fun growing up. No. So yeah, I had to behave myself, or if I was going to do the things that you do in your late teens and 20s, I had to make sure dad didn't know. Because
Oh,
but I tell that people too. I'm like, you know what? If I could stand it to my dad in those days, and I wasn't afraid of my pop, who was DEA on the border,
wow.
I can stand up to anything. But
Yeah.
again, I'm always thankful. When I lost my dad, it did hit me. It's crazy. During growing up, we were very adversarial, but the last 5 years of his life, we actually got close, and and I see a lot of him in myself now that
Yeah.
well, I stopped myself. Some good, some bad. But I have a temperament like my father. I work on it all the time. I do, and but I know it's there.
Well,
But it's okay. We're human beings sometimes. So
yes. Yes. And Ronnie, we see only good. So there
I
you
hope so.
go. Okay.
Because it's not always good. I promise that. Yeah. But we try. And
Yeah.
again, I often tell people, and people, I'm like, I'm not always nice either. I'm like, I think I'm a good person, but not always a nice person, if that makes any sense. Because
Of
sometimes you just
course.
want to do the
Absolutely.
best things for everyone around, and sometimes you have to make the hard decisions.
Right.
And
That's
yeah.
right. And we're human, aren't we? We're
Yes.
human.
And I
So,
can be aggressive. I had to be aggressive last year, many times for my partner's health and as advocate, in the medical system here in the United States. It's a lot to deal with, and had to speak up several times, and sometimes it was a little heated.
yeah.
But I wouldn't trade the way I did it this last year because I don't think if there were times that I didn't do that, he wouldn't be here and he's still here. And
Yes,
and I'm yeah, but I think sometimes people are afraid to stick up or fight for what's right.
I'm proud
And
of
I'm
you.
never going to be afraid of that. I won't be. And
Good.
sometimes people may not think I'm the nicest person because I will fight for what's right, what I feel is right at least. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm not. But what I feel in my heart is the things that make me upset or unfairness to people, unkindness, and those are things that will get me heated. They will.
Yes, yes,
So
I'm with you on that. And I want to say thank you for doing that. And you did a wonderful job. And it's so important to stand up for our loved ones and be their advocate. I do want to say, let's mention his name. Say hello to your partner. Do you want to say hi?
hi, Kirby. He's asleep right now. So he's in the other room asleep right now. So
Hi, Kirby. We love
uh-huh.
you. We love you.
He's night. He's night night.
He's night night. Well,
He's
he'll see
night
this.
night.
Hopefully, he'll see this another day and let him know
Hopefully,
that
we're
we're.
we're getting ready to go on vacation in 2 weeks. I'm so ready.
Oh, where are you going?
New Orleans to celebrate my 51st birthday.
Oh, happy early
Well,
birthday,
well,
Ronnie.
thank you. Yeah, last year we didn't think we'd make it another year, so this year we're celebrating.
Yes.
So
Well, I've heard wonderful things about New Orleans, so you're going to have a
I love
wonderful.
it. One of my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah,
cities
yeah,
on the planet. It's just,
yeah.
and I'm going to travel and not work. I could
Good.
find burlesque work out there. There's even film work. I have film friends in New Orleans too, but I'm going to just have a vacation. I'm deliberately not taking any burlesque clothes. I might go see a show or two. So many wonderful performers out there that I know, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to take on any work. I'm going to relax, take baths in the bathtub at the hotel,
Yes.
eat whatever I want,
Sounds
and
wonderful.
enjoy it.
You deserve it. You've worked very hard, both of you have, and you're going to have a wonderful time there. Wonderful.
Listen to jazz music. I love
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
I love jazz music. I
I
do.
love jazz too. Jazz
Me
is the
too.
best.
Me
Yeah.
too. My first burlesque number that got into any festivals was actually a little ode to New Orleans. I did a version of St. James Infirmary. So
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Well, it's been so wonderful talking with you tonight, and I'm so
Likewise,
sorry.
AJ.
We love you, Ronnie. It's gone so fast. I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to start wrapping it up.
Yeah, I could chatter for days. So yeah, it went fast. You're easy to talk to. Thank you.
Me too. I could talk to you continual. But I
Likewise.
do want to say that you're a wonderful guest, and also we do our heart messages. So before we do that, before we close the show, we want to say our message to the world. You've dropped so many great treasures and gems and quotes here tonight.
And that's not even getting everybody out there that I could be thankful to. Again, it often bothers me when we do shows or interviews that I forget names or don't or gosh, I should have remembered that person then. So I want to just do that shout out to everybody, anybody. Again, I wouldn't be here having doing this interview with you, to getting the privilege to be who am I
Yes.
without all those people that have helped. I am thankful and grateful to all of them. I am.
Yes, me too. I am. And also I want to say hi to Nicole Vegas. She's fabulous as well.
Nicole worked on Death Club as well. She was one of our production assistants. Yes, ma'am.
We love her. She is phenomenal too. So that
And
you're
she
in.
hosts. I think she's hosting a show right now as well. Still, I don't know if she is.
Yes,
Vegas Views or Nicole Vegas Views. Awesome.
yes, yes. So everybody check Nicole Vegas Views out on Facebook. And she does wonderful interviews as well. She's been on my program. She's my
Oh,
sister. I
nice.
love her and adore her as well. And it's such a good feeling when we know a lot of people, Ronnie.
We
We have a lot of
do.
people in
We do.
common.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to give my heart message. Just like the drops of rain and snowflakes are special and unique, you are unique as well. And always remember that you're needed and important on this planet. You're here for a reason, and you're here to experience life, and also to perhaps help others in your life in inspirational ways. So that is my heart message for this week, and I hope that that resonates with someone. It resonates with me, and I love sharing things like that with people. Over to you, Ronnie.
Well, gosh, again, my message out there is I'm like, you know, teamwork makes the dream work. And again, always be part of teams, always. Um, don't be afraid to disagree. Disagreement does not make us enemies. Disagreement helps us grow as artists, as people. We all thought the same. We would do all the same things all the time. So again, it's disagreement is a positive thing. I think people should just change the perspective of what you're doing out there. You can get the same things accomplished. You know, it's the old adages of often start off that you'll attract more bees with honey than vinegar, and go from there. Fight
Yeah.
when you have to, but never go in being adversarial and starting fights. You know, you don't let people walk on you, but you also go out there and you try to make a difference. Be a positive change. Be a voice that leads.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I just want to give you a
Uh,
heart, Ronnie, and everyone out there, a big heart. That was so beautiful what you said, and those sentiments, let that sink deep into all of you who are watching this episode. And it's been so wonderful. How can people, thank you again, Ronnie. How can people follow you, support you? Are you on Facebook, Instagram?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and IMDb. You know,
Okay.
as Ronnie Lloyd Nanos or Ronnie Nanos. My burlesque persona is Pistol Holiday. He's a cowboy, and because I'm a cowboy, and
I love
and but no, just follow me on Facebook, Ronnie Lloyd Nanos. Same on Instagram, and don't be afraid to give a shout or send a message inquiring about things. Sometimes that's the only way I can respond, and I do try to stay on top of these things. Sometimes I get behind. I think maybe when we were doing this interview, I'm like, I'm behind. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
And
you're
but I was
fine.
like, I promise I would like to do this absolutely. But
You're fine,
eventually I
Ronnie.
get there. I think 99% of the time I do respond.
Yes, you do. You're perfect in every
Oh,
way. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for
thank you.
your beautiful presence tonight, your beautiful heart. Hi, good night, Kirby, or hello, Kirby. You'll be seeing this soon. And until we meet again, I'm going to have, this is my special feather burlesque, especially for you, my burlesque
Ooh, I love
feather.
it.
Yes. And so au revoir until we meet again,
Au
Ronnie.
revoir. Mhm.
Um,
Adios.
Adios.